continuing with lesson 10.1. This is the second video, B as in boy, and we're going to start here with scientific notation. Gosh, when you're dealing with huge numbers, it gets to be a real pain in the neck to write those huge numbers. So scientists have come up with a way to do that, and it's called scientific notation. So scientific notation is basically taking the decimal and always putting it after the first non-zero number. First non-zero number. So 5 is the first number that's not a zero. So we're going to write that as 5, and we're going to put a decimal place there. Then normally what you do is you usually follow it up with 2 more parts of this, or really all the numbers that are not zeros in this case. That. Then you write a multiplication sign, a 10. Okay, so this is standard when you're writing something in scientific notation. So the decimal just to the right of the first non-zero number, and then the other numbers that are non-zero follow. And then once you run out of those numbers, you put a times sign and you put a 10. And then you count how many digits there are to the right of that decimal point that you moved, because actually that decimal point was right there, wasn't it? And we moved it all the way over to here. So we have to tell the person that's looking in this how far we moved that decimal point. So it was here, so we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 places. So I'm going to put a 9 up there just to tell you that that decimal place was moved over from its original place, is where it should be, 9 places. Okay, so that is scientific notation. If I have 376,000, decimal is going to go to the right of the first non-zero number. And then I'm going to write the rest of my non-zero numbers times 10, and I came over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So that just tells me where that decimal should actually go. If I wrote it in expanded form is what it's called. Now if I give you one like example 6 and I say 4.52 times 10 to the third, and they want it in expanded form, they want it written as it actually is supposed to be. So this is telling me I've got to move that decimal point 3 places over. So I'm going to take 4 and I'm going to move it over 1, 2, 5, 2. So if I move it over from here 1, 2, it says move it over 3. So I'm going to add another 0 there so that I can actually move it over 3. So my answer is going to be where that decimal place is when I move it over 3. If, for instance, I had a number that was a little bit bigger than that, say I had 3.72 times 10 to the 6th, that just tells me that I'm going to write the 372, but I'm going to move that decimal place here 6 places over. Well, I don't have 6 places, I only have 2. So I'm going to have to add a bunch of zeros here. So let's just add a wad of zeros here. And then there's where it was. We need to move it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We move it over there. Get rid of those. We don't care about those anymore. I just drew a bunch of them so that we'd have them there to pick from. So I moved it over 6. So the number that represents is 3,720,000. This is scientific. This is expanded. They're the same number. It's just another way of writing it. So the problems for this section are very similar to the ones that we did for the examples. I'm looking at number 63 here just to kind of throw this fraction out here for you. So we're going to take the 2/3 and we're going to cube it. We're going to take a to the 4th and cube it, and b to the 5th and cube it. So again, we take each part and apply our exponent there. So 2/3 cubed is 2/3 times 2/3. I'll put the other one over here. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. So that's taken care of. A to the 4th to the third is going to be 4 times 3. b to the fifth to the third is going to be 15. So we're going to get an answer like that. The only other one that I want to go over with you real quick is if you look at number 45, 0.5, a, b, and then they square it. So again, we're going to square the 0.5, square the a, square the b. So 0.5 squared, a squared, b squared. So 0.5 squared is 0.25, because we take 0.5 times 0.5, we get 25, move the decimal place over 2 places, and we get that. And we get a squared, b squared for our answer there. So there's just some ideas on putting this together, and the rest of them don't seem like they'll be too bad for you.